All right, good morning, boys and girls. It is Thursday, April 2nd, 2020, and I'm excited to see you. I hope that you're having a good week. There's a couple announcements I want to do for today, and then I wanted to read a story because I thought I haven't read them a story in a while. So the first and most important thing for today is that we will be having a Zoom class meeting today from 10 to 11 a.m. What that means is you can go into your Google Classroom and there will be a link to a meeting or a video chat, and you'll be able to see all of your classmates that join us. You'll be able to see me, Miss Draws. You can ask us any questions you have. You can tell us what you've been doing. It would just be a great chance for us to catch up and figure out what people have been up to and if anyone needs help with things. The second thing has to do with that also, which is get online every day, okay? You should be going to Google Classroom. Miss Draws and I have been putting activities and ideas for learning. Miss Draws has also started reading you a story, and you're reading it to yourself, the Judy Moody story, and answering questions. It's important that you answer the questions and you submit your answers so we know if you're reading and understanding. Also, there's Zern and ST Math, there's Lexia, there's Raz Kids, and there's Flipgrids, which I actually think is so fun. It's just like a vlog, a video blog, where you can write a little something or tell us a little something about what's going on with you. So lastly, here's our question of the day. So you can either leave a comment on Google Classroom or on YouTube and let us know. Would you rather be the size of an ant or the size of a house? Which would you rather be the size of? Itty bitty ant or a big house? Think about that. While you think about that, I'm going to get ready to read you one of my favorite stories. So, the story I want to read to you today is just for fun. You don't have to do any work with it. You can just listen and enjoy it. It's called The Circus Ship. And the funny thing about this book is the first time I read it, I was at Miss Draws' house and I read it to her son. And I had never read it before. And then I was looking for a book to get Nora and I saw it and I thought, that's a great book. I want to get that. So I want to share it with you today too. The Circus Ship by Chris Van Dusen. The Circus Ship. I'm already thinking some things like, think I know what a circus is and I know what a ship is, but why would a circus and a ship be together? 5 miles off the coast of Maine and slightly overdue, a circus ship was steaming south in a fog as thick as stew. On board were 15 animals who traveled to and fro. The next day it was Boston for another circus show. Remember that. How many animals are there? 15. The captain, Mr. Carrington, was honest and sincere. He thought that they should drop the hook and wait for things to clear. But Mr. Payne, the circus boss, was terribly demanding. He stomped up to the helm where Captain Carrington was standing and screamed, "Don't stop, keep going. I've got a show to do. Just get me down to Boston town tomorrow, sir, by 2. So the captain of the boat thinks it would be safer to stop and not go through the fog. But the circus boss is making him move on. Can you make a prediction? Then came a crash, an awful bash. Things flew through the air. The ship had smashed into a ledge, and no one knew was there. The shattered ship began to tip, then sank without a sound. The splashing, thrashing animals swam round and round and round. The captain said to Mr. Payne, "Pray tell, what shall we do? We can't just leave them here to drown. We've got to save them too." "The animals?" cried Mr. Payne. "Why, sir, what are you, daft? It's me you should rescue. Pull me onto the raft. Now, ferry me to safety, sir, before I die of cold." "But don't question me," barked Mr. Payne. "Just do what you are told." Who wants to save the animals? Who doesn't care about the animals? Through chilly water all night long, the animals swam on until they reached the island beach just before the dawn. They pulled themselves up on the shore, bedraggled, cold and beat, then staggered to the village on weary, wobbly feet. What does it mean to be weary and wobbly? The people in the neighborhood had just begun to rise, and when they saw those animals, they had to rub their eyes. They thought they saw an elephant, but wait, how could that be? And what's that little monkey doing in the cherry tree? What would you if you go look out your window? What if you saw a circus animal? Would you need to rub your eyes? Soon animals were everywhere and into everything. There's an ostrich in my outhouse. There's a hippo in the spring. There's a tiger in the tulips. There's a lion in the lawn. There's a python in the pantry. It went on and on. Mr. Hood was stacking wood and nearly jumped a mile when he found the alligator sleeping on his pile. And Mrs. Dotty Daly, who grew daisies by the bunch, discovered that the zebra had been eating them for lunch. And Miss Fanny Feeney found, according to the rumors, the silly little circus monkey swinging in her bloomers. But everything changed quickly, like the turning of the tide, the night the Abbott's shed caught fire with Emma Rose inside. From high above the Abbott's farm, the tiger saw the shed. The sight of smoke and fire triggered something in his head. He jumped through the flames 1,000 times back in the circus days. So he ran past all the people and leaped into the blaze. Then everybody panicked. "Help, help! What can we do?" When from the raging fire, something big burst into view. It was the most amazing sight, and everybody froze when they saw the tiger saving little Emma Rose. The tiger's risky rescue changed everybody's mind. The animals weren't bothersome. The animals were kind. So they lived together, side by side. They got along, and it didn't seem like anything could possibly go wrong. Then Little Red the messenger came running with the word. Apparently a circus ship had sunk from what he'd heard. "The animals are from that boat. They swam in from the bay. The greedy owner wants them back. He'll be here any day." So the people called a meeting and they quickly hatched a plan. No animal that came ashore would sail off with that man. The next day, at the crack of dawn, a ship was at the pier, and up the lane marched Mr. Payne, whose voice was loud and clear. I am the circus owner. My ship sank in the murk. I've come to find my animals and put them back to work. He hiked until he came into the center of the town. His face was red. He scratched his head. He stood there with a frown. Mr. Payne looked high and low, but he still couldn't see the 15 circus animals of his menagerie. I'm going to stop here. I want you to look closely at the picture. If you need to, pause your video. See if you can find any of the animals. How many could you find? He ran around the alleyways. He searched the village square. He even checked the chicken coop. His animals weren't there. Mr. Payne was tuckered out. His heavy chest was heaving. Then Little Red stepped up and said, I think your boat is leaving. He ran up in a fit of rage. His ship was leaving sight. So he jumped into a rowboat and he rowed with all his might. And from that day, they like to say their lives were free of pain. It was a happy, peaceful place upon that isle in Maine. What was the name of the circus boss? Do you remember? Mr. Payne. And so they like to say that they were free of pain. They were free from Mr. Payne. All right, I hope you enjoyed that book. I miss doing read-alouds with you guys. I hope that we can get back to school and do them soon. Have a great day.